Sick of all you sycophants, ignorance and miscreants, simpletons and little ants, trying to split their sentience. People peddle pestilence land, pipe on their settlements, and I don't think it was even food for it was excrement. Get your head in it. Second wind represent white shit. Kid, I never stepped in it. I reckon it's older than
Hello, welcome to Techquila. This is the podcast where we talk about tech while taking a shot of tequila every 10 minutes. I'm your host, Daniel, as usual. With me today is Miss Ashley Robinson. Hello.
Hey.
And then for the first time, I have Mr. Cris Nevares.
Hey, here.
Hello. Okay, so I'm just gonna briefly say what I'm drinking. Today I'm drinking the same shit I've been drinking for a while. The name of the tequila is Olmeca Altos. This, I have said previously, is probably like the best bang for a buck in terms of decent quality for price. And it is habanero infused, and it was really spicy, so I'm gonna burn my fucking face off. Ashley, what do you have?
I'm actually not drinking tequila this time. I'm drinking Crown Royal Texas Mesquite, and it's a mistake.
Wait, Crown Royal is a Texas branded liquor?
Texas Mesquite. That's specific because it does smell and kind of taste like barbecue. But
right, so they put like barbecue chips in that shit, or what?
I think they did. I think they like soaked it in barbecue chips, so it smells smoky and it kind of makes you hungry. But then when you taste it, it's actually not very good. However, like I think this would probably be the best thing if I were to ever make my own barbecue sauce or create a soak some ribs in this shit before I put it like on a grill. It would taste amazing. But I was
literally about to suggest once you're done drinking it tonight, like save it for like a marinade or something.
I'm gonna have to save it because I cannot drink this stuff anymore. It tastes so bad. It had to have been made just to prep food. It had to have been.
So it's regular Crown Royal that they put mesquite chips or whatever in, I guess? That's
what I'm assuming. Although the packaging's real cute. Instead of the purple and gold bag, it comes in a blue bag with red rope, and there's a big star on the front. So it's cute.
I'm a fan of purple, but I never liked the Crown Royal purple.
Right.
There's something about the Crown Royal purple. It was just like, this is a little tacky.
Too aristocratic.
It's not my the blue sounds a lot better. Chris, what are you drinking?
I've got some Padrino de mi Tierra. It's a tequila I just picked up. Just for this.
We were talking about the name earlier, and we were like, "Wait, is that?" I thought it was Stepfather, and he was like, "Wait, no, it's what is it, Godfather?"
It's Godfather.
Yeah.
There you go. Godfather
like,
of
stepfather
my land.
of the land. What?
Yeah, we were like, "What the fuck?"
Which is so weird. I never hear anybody use the word padrino. Like we always call our godmothers and fathers Nino and Nina.
That sounds like an abbreviation of padrino to me.
It does. So then when
you know how Latin people always make shit like cute and short.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chris, it's your first time, so you count down, please.
All right, everybody on 3, 2, 1.
Cheers.
Salud.
Oh Jesus! This is just like. Oh my god. It's like liquid habanero. It's like it doesn't even taste like anything else.
That's gonna go right through you.
Oh.
You know, my sinuses were fucked up yesterday, so I kind of need this. But at the same time, maybe I don't. Okay.
This is all intentional.
Oh, god damn.
It's bad.
Oh, son of a bitch. Okay, so on that note, I'm the only one that cares about this topic, so I'll just like go through this really quick. But I think it's pretty cool because I'm a space nerd. So there was, I think it was Italian scientists announced that they are like very, very, very sure that they have discovered an underground liquid lake on Mars. So this is the first confirmation of, liquid water existing on Mars. It's highly likely at this point. So they scanned the ice cap at the South Pole and probed with radar, detected about a mile underneath the surface an underground lake that's about 12 miles wide. And the team tried to, exhaust like any other possibility other than water before, getting to its water. And so, yeah, highly likely that it's water. The finding, it's based on radar, so it's hard to confirm 100% unless we send something that's like super sophisticated to Mars in the future, which will not happen anytime in the near future. It'll probably be like several years. But what's interesting is that it's far enough underground that the ecosystem, the potential ecosystem, I should say, isn't affected by the really awful conditions on the surface that would like fucking obliterate life. So yeah, I think the chances there are pretty cool. The potential for life. Chris and I were talking earlier, and we were like, if anything, it's probably bacterial or something.
Yeah, if anything, it's going to be like it'll be where you look for previous life, I'd imagine, but I don't think it's reasonable to expect much.
Yeah, like alive now. If it's alive now, highly likely it's only single cell, but if anything, it'll probably be like
fossils or
exactly.
How crazy is it is it to imagine like life to have existed there like way before any life existed here? Well, human life existed here. I would love to hear that story.
Be wild.
Yeah.
What would be really interesting also just in general, like looking at life elsewhere other than Earth, is like what other paradigms or like different ways
if they're not carbon based.
Well, yeah, carbon based is one thing, but also like like we evolved with DNA, and like they might have something similar to DNA that does the same function, but it'll look and behave differently, if there is life elsewhere, which is highly likely statistically. But shit like that is just like super fascinating. But there's really not much else to the announcement other than that. I'm sure that either the European Space Agency or NASA or whoever is going to try to send something there that can dig a mile down and like take samples or do whatever they need to do to confirm the liquid water, and then start looking for evidence of either life having been there or currently being there. But yeah, pretty cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
And then so Chris wanted to talk about just in general the driverless car industry and like how that'll disrupt other industries and it'll impact our lives in general. I remember you bringing up the example of like instead of like taking a plane, like you'll take a car.
Yeah, exactly. Like I just find it really interesting and not often talked about the impacts or the impacted industries that driverless cars will have. Like the example of airlines having less short flights, because why am I going to take a flight over to say New Orleans from Austin when I can just sleep on the way over there and my car gets me there?
Have you guys ever ridden in a driverless car?
I have not yet.
Oh shit!
What do you think?
Were you like horrified, or was it awesome?
Anxiety-ridden thing that I've experienced, besides getting in front of people to talk when you feel a little unprepared, things like that. My boss, they were trying to get new sponsors for the show we have, and Google was one of the sponsors that was interested in sending a driverless car, so they brought one to set. And we got to ride around in one in our parking lot. But it was just so nerve-wracking because I guess that's what our mothers feel like whenever we drive. So I kind of get it now. I kind of get why my mom's always like shrieking in my ear to slow down. Because we weren't even going fast and we weren't even going anywhere. But I just felt like we were too close to things and there's no one in the driver's seat. How do we stop this moving vehicle? And my boss was like... This is so cool. And I was like, Gail, how are you not freaking out right now? So I think if we can get used to that idea, it'll be a cool thing. Because like essentially it would be just like riding a train or riding in a bus.
You know what did that for me, that fear? Me and my girlfriend were in Copenhagen, and there's this like really old, well-maintained, awesome theme park called Tivoli. It's the shit. If you ever go to Copenhagen, go there because it's amazing. It's fucking amazing. But we went on this, y'all know those rides where it's like the fucking chair is attached to chains and it swings around.
Yeah.
We did one of those, but this one goes like really, 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 really high. Like you see the whole city. And I was next to my girlfriend, and I was she still laughs at me for it and tells everyone about it. I was like white knuckling the chain.
Yeah.
Because we're high as shit. And I was like, yo, if one of these chains snaps, it's game over and it's not going to be fun.
It's going to be terrifying all the way down.
Yeah. Like I might survive, but I'll still like shit my pants. Like this is horrifying.
I'm really putting all the effort I can to keeping this together.
I know she was laughing at me while we were on the ride. She was like, "Dude, it's fine," and I was like, "It's not fine. This is not fine." I'm freaking out.
Did the chains go slack into like the apex?
I honestly don't know. I have no idea.
Did you stay conscious throughout the whole ride?
Oh, like too conscious. Like I probably like should have got into it like a little less lucid, and I would have been fine. Jesus, yeah, I was horrified the whole time. So like I get that feeling, or like when someone's a really shitty driver and you're in the car with them, and you grab the y'all know that thing that's like right next to the seat, that like the pull down thing.
Yeah.
I call those the oh shit bar.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah,
it's the same thing. When someone's like a really bad driver, or like extremely aggressive, and you grab that thing, you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, it's like, oh please God, please.
Yeah, I feel like if I was in an automated car that I didn't, like 1,000% trust, I would be holding that the whole time. Just like, oh shit, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
Oh man. So let's see, what other industries can you think of that would be impacted by this? There's health and auto insurance. There's dealership.
Trucking, right? Like if you can have a driverless truck, then
Tesla's already come up with their models for the auto electric semis.
Yeah.
So
it only makes sense. And what's crazy is like, well, okay, so something like 1/10 of the workforce in the United States is like driving, like just people driving things, like driving around, like like those trucks you see around cities that are like moving, I don't know, like groceries from like a distribution center to like the grocery store where you go buy your shit, or a lot of stuff like that, like truckers. Whether it's like an Uber driver or a taxi driver, something like 10% of the American workforce is people who drive. And if that alone gets disrupted, we're probably going to, as a society, have to start talking about, in addition to the, like the welfare system we already have, some form of like universal basic income. To help people out. Because it's not really their fault that this shit is, going to basically take their job. Or like some form of what's the word when you go to like classes and they give you fucking skills and shit.
Vocational.
There we go. That kind of shit. Like, we're gonna have to start having these conversations.
Yeah,
but those are tough conversations to have and easy to kick down the road. So.
I know, it's a very easy kick the can down the road thing. Very easy. And in the current climate where like people can't even agree on like, like healthcare for everyone, let alone, something like that, it's really hard to have that conversation in the mainstream.
Yeah, it's not at that point yet, I think.
That's the shout timer.
Oh, is that time?
I chose on purpose. I was like, what's the most like techie sounding thing? And I was like, this one that sounds like it's from Tron. I'm going to do that one. Let's do this one. Okay. Ash, you count.
All right, ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Cheers.
Cheers.
Allez les bleus. Oh my god. Ooh, this one hit me like in the nose like wasabi. Holy shit.
Ugh, this one just, I felt like I got punched in the chest.
Is it gross?
It's just so gross.
I've never really liked Crown anyway, and when you add like mesquite to it, that doesn't sound any better.
Yeah.
Oh man. I feel so bad. I'm enjoying my tequila over here, and you guys sound like you're hating yours.
I genuinely like habanero infusing the tequila. I just,
it doesn't sound like
I made the mistake. Here's the mistake. I made the mistake of putting a whole ass habanero in there, and I should have put like one.
Oh, you infused it yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I bought habaneros. I cut the stem off, like I cut the cap off, and I just throw that bitch in there. But I should probably stick to halves of habaneros because now my GI tract is like, what the actual fuck are you ingesting right now? Woo. Okay. Anyway, timer started. Okay. So what else? Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, man.
You got
UBI,
auto insurance.
UBI is a thing we're going to have to talk about. But anyway, so like, yeah, auto insurance. People who drive for a living. What else? I mean, like, what do you take a car for nowadays? You know, Uber, that type of thing, or what is trucking?
What do you conference meetings? Now that you don't have I'm just thinking of like different ideas. Like, what can you do now that you have extra time that you're not sitting in traffic distracted?
So much.
I mean, like, I have a half hour commute every morning. I could easily have a call with a client in that time.
I mean, even imagine that the car you're in is Wi-Fi enabled, because most cars are coming with that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, you would even just start work in the car. So,
or you guys would do like because I live in a civilized city where we have this thing called public transportation. So even though I live like 45 to 50 minutes away from downtown, it's nice because I don't have to drive. I just sit there and I play my video games or I read my book. So I think that's probably what most people would do, at least our age, is like, you know, sit there and play your Switch or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Oh,
but,
yeah.
I forget that most bigger cities have working public transport.
In the U.S., the only cities that have working public transportation worth a damn is Chicago and New York, and that's it. To be honest, I can't really think of anywhere else that has decent Nah, I can't really think of anywhere.
LA does have a very good transit system. The problem is,
it has that like 2 or 3 shitty trains, and like the buses are okay.
It's just so spread out. Like, because I lived in Compton and I was able to take the train, but they weren't finished with all of the train stops at the time I lived there. And
wasn't it like a plus sign though? It was only like 2 lines.
No, it's got a couple. It's got 6 or 7 now, and then. Or 6 or 7 when I lived there, and then now I think they're up to 10. So you can actually take the train a little bit more than usually, but like still getting to like down like Hollywood area and stuff is still crappy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There you go. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, like, but y'all are right in that like once it becomes a thing, I guess there'll be other options like Wi-Fi for meetings or like, I don't know, whatever, like, you know, imagine like iRobot when like Will Smith is like, you know, there's a screen that you can interact with. So there's like, I don't know, you could watch like Netflix or some shit like in the car, I'd imagine, or some shit like that. I don't know. That might be a little too futuristic.
I mean, at this rate.
But at the very least, you watch Netflix on your phone like I do on my commute. Or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely... I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. And I wonder, like, the also as someone who
like at that point, do you even need a driver's license?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
point.
If you get to like a point in society where it's so mass adopted, why do I need the driver's license?
Here's the thing: is like, and this is where I'm trying to like assemble my thoughts and go in this direction. You're helping me, thank you, Chris. Is like, is this going to be like the new public transportation? Maybe in this fucked up world of the United States, it might be more like private public partnerships that, you know, don't
private mostly.
Exactly. Yeah.
The only thing I would hope is it doesn't disparage people who are middle to low income class, because I feel like at the start of this, of course, it's going to be very expensive, and so people won't be able to have access to this. And if there is this availability, you know how people love to pull their money out of things when something new and shiny comes along. Hello, gentrification. So I would just hope it wouldn't cause a disruption in public transit for people who like you know, what's the word I'm looking for? too many shots.
So I actually I was thinking about that earlier. Just that, okay, well, it could inhibit, you know, other industries, but what else would it inhibit? Maybe stuff like the Hyperloop becomes less important because we could either build this one loop that goes 700 miles an hour and gets me there in a few minutes, or we could invest the money into getting more driverless vehicles and saving money.
Well,
that
also
way. Like I don't know what the cost benefit analysis looks like.
Not a precedent that I would want to set when compared to like a train for public transportation, because cars are very, like, at least the way they exist in this country, it very much, if you look at American cities, the way they're built to prioritize car traffic, and that takes away from what, like, a lot of cities, like for instance London, has, to get into the like central London, like downtown London, on any street or highway, there's a tax, like a toll for any car coming in, because they were trying to have less cars in the city, less congestion, make it more of a pedestrian city, and have the trains and other things like carry the people in and out of the city for, like a pretty affordable rate. And this, I feel like, would hurt a lot of those initiatives. It would make cities, again, like, prioritize cars more than people walking around the city. On top of that, it would also prioritize, like in this country especially, highways specifically have been used for, I mean, lack of a better term, for like slum clearance, right? Especially here in Chicago. It's happened, I think, a lot in Houston, Boston. It's happened all over the country, where they'll use either the interstate system or state highways or whatever to clear low income neighborhoods, because you know how this country is. They're like, all these problematic people, how do we get rid of them? Let's build a highway through the fucking neighborhood.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know, the whole car thing doesn't leave a good taste in my mouth, is my point. And if it's going to be like the new public transportation, I wonder how it'll affect the way we build our cities.
Yeah.
Well, I think also part of it is that this whole introduction or like adoption of the share economy, I feel like with the introduction of driverless cars plus that, maybe people start owning cars less, and then you just like call up your car to take you where you want to go, and you don't actually have one, so there are less cars on the road. There's the ride sharing aspect of it. And
yeah, don't get me wrong, I think outside of like dense city centers, I think it can be very liberating. It's just a matter of whether we go about it as like a public service or as a, like, top down for the well off only kind of thing. But
it's definitely going to start that way, at least.
But I do agree with you in that it can be very like liberating for a lot of people. In that, like, I don't have to buy a car anymore. I mean, that's already the case for me, living in a city with public transportation, and I like augment that with like either catching the bus, or like if I'm trying to get somewhere quicker, I will catch a Lyft. Like I'll take the train. The problem with public transportation in Chicago is that it's like radial. Like I don't know if y'all know how it's built, but there's what's called a loop downtown, and it's like a small little circle, and it's where all the trains go, and then they all kind of like radiate out from there, like spokes coming out of a wheel.
Yeah.
But then there's no like train that connects the outer spokes. So like the red line runs north south along the lake, and like if I want to get to the blue line, there's a lot of cool shit happening on the blue line. I gotta like catch a bus or like a Lyft, and the buses don't run that often, now, let alone in the winter. And so like I'll use Lyft. Like I'll take the train down because it's really cheap. It's $2, and then I'll catch a Lyft to wherever I need to go to make it cheaper. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. I was just kind of ranting. It's just the fine line of like helping people and not hurting them. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah. I don't know. It is a, like, I think it can help a lot of people, but we have to be mindful of how cars and just like the automobile industry and highways and shit have hurt, like lower income people in the past, and watch out for that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and taking it away at this point.
But I do. Oh, here's where I was going. Is like I don't have a car, and like I don't need a car here, and Lyft up. Fuck. Shit. Okay, let me pour this shit. Yeah, but I don't know. Like Lyft helps is all I'm saying, and so like I can see this like helping even more so with a lot of people.
Yeah, and it's been interesting to see, like in Austin at least.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see like people become so dependent on it that when it left, and some other services try to take it and Uber's place, that didn't last very long.
Yeah, they just totally disappeared.
I think one of them got bought or acquired by somebody.
But even like even talking about like Lyft and Uber like being, you know, really nice and cool for us and helping us out, it also like the reason it's so cheap is because they skirt around the regulations on the taxi industry that are actually put in place to like help consumers, like, you know, background checks and like making sure that those cars have insurance and shit, are all put in place to protect us, the people who are taking these cars. And so like, you know, even the current state of affairs is a little bit, you know, it's trying to get around the law that's put in place to help people.
Right.
Oh, for sure.
And yeah, I don't know.
Look at Airbnb.
Yeah, Airbnb, same thing.
I mean, you could say the same.
It's yeah, very much the same thing. And I like, I bet y'all agree with me at least to some degree. Like Airbnb and Lyft and Uber are like so fucking convenient. Like
they are.
And like
incredibly. Yeah,
and so cheap.
Like I'm thinking of going on a weekend trip next or like in a month or so to Fredericksburg, and I'm like, oh, obviously just get an Airbnb. Why would I?
I mean, everywhere I go, at least that I'm picking, I pick Airbnb. You know, because it's cheap as fuck.
Yep.
I was in Mexico City for a week and stayed in an Airbnb.
I want to go there.
Wonderful. It's beautiful.
Okay,
I love that place.
Let's take this shot. Speaking of.
Okay.
We're way overdue.
Okay, I'll count. 3, 2, 1. Trago.
Cheers.
Salud.
Nice. Yo. Yeah, I'm putting half a habanero next time. This shit is overwhelming. It is good though. If you're okay with spice, habaneros, aside from the spice, actually have a lot of flavor. If you want more of the flavor without the spice, you can core it and take the seeds out and then throw it in your tequila, and it really goes well with tequila flavor wise. It's just if you throw a whole habanero in there without taking the seeds out, your intestines are going to hate you.
Apparently it's not the seeds, but it's the
stuff.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the case. I'm pretty sure that's the case.
I've had habanero infused tequila. It's very good. It just sounds like you added a lot.
It's super. I literally just cut the cap off and threw it in there, like, which I think from now
YOLO.
Yeah, maybe for real. I was like, fuck it, dude. I can take spice, and I'm starting to like sweat out my ears. Oh, I need to start the timer. Oops. Start. Oh no, we're a minute off. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so I think it was about a week ago, Google was hit with the largest fine in history in terms of dollar amount. I think it was like 4.8 billion euros, which is like over $5 billion.
Jeez, I was about to ask if it was over north of 1.
Shit.
Yeah. So here's what happened. Here's the down low, and I think this will be an interesting conversation because Chris and I had like a little prelude conversation before Ash joined us. So, the basis of this fine was with their antitrust laws in Europe, which are a lot better than here, but here's the breakdown. So Android, the way Android works is there's the open source version of Android that Google will give to allow open source for manufacturers to use for their phones, whether it be Huawei or OnePlus, Samsung, et cetera. And so the basis for this fine was that Google, and they actually did this in the past with Microsoft, but Google, preloads the Android open source project with Chrome and Google Search and several other, Google apps that come with the operating system. And it's based on that alone that, like all the other manufacturers, whether it's like Samsung or OnePlus or whatever, name all the Android manufacturers, have all these Google apps pre-installed in the phone. The EU deemed that an advantage over their competitors in terms of search and email. I don't know if email is actually included in that, but I know search was the main one. Search and browser were the main one, Chrome and Google search. And so, slapped them with this over $5 billion fine for that. And I have opinions, but I'll give it to y'all to talk about before I voice my opinion.
So real quick before that, I'm just looking at the highest EU antitrust tech fines. Number 1 being this one from Google. Number 2 also being from Google at 2.4 billion euro.
That was like not that long ago, right?
That was 2017.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And then before that, it was
Does it
Intel.
say what that one was
2009.
for? What was that one for?
It does not.
So there was a similar thing. I forget.
Manipulated search.
Oh yeah, because in search, like Google shit comes up first. Yes, I remember this. Yes. So I think it was, man, it was when we were younger. So my memory is blurred. But when we were younger, there was a similar thing with Microsoft and how Microsoft preloaded back then Microsoft Explorer onto Windows. Internet Explorer. Thank you. Oh, God. This is how out of touch I am with like Windows XP.
That's still solid. Still get updates.
No, man. The only Windows operating system I will fuck with is Windows 10 because the rest are trash in my mind. But
Windows 7 wasn't awful, but
Windows 7 compared to Windows 10 is awful.
Better than Windows 8 or 8.1?
I thought 8.1 was okay when I had it on my Surface, but it was on, it's meant for the Surface. But okay.
Yeah.
I digress. So here are my feelings. Even as like a fucking, like progressive leftist type guy, I was like, this is a weird way to go about fining Google. Like I agree with like antitrust shit and like, like trying to like slap down big companies with huge advantages, but the framing around this seems stupid to me. I don't know. It just is like, how do you not expect someone who like, I make my own operating system. Like, of course I'm going to preload it with my shit. Like, why the fuck wouldn't I? That's fucking dumb. I don't know.
I think it's the requirement on the behalf of the phone makers to keep the software in the operating system. That
it
is
can't, like if OnePlus ships it, they can't uninstall Chrome in their build or whatever.
Right. Like that being the prereq kind of makes the EU's point.
That's fair.
I'm a huge Google fan, but if it's in the agreement, hey, this is open source, but you can't uninstall these apps, then it's not really.
When I guess, to your point,
really.
I guess that is that is very coercive on their part, throwing around their weight on the manufacturers. Yeah. I don't know. Part of me is like, that's dumb. And actually, now that you put it that way, I guess I can see the point of the antitrust case here. But
like preloading is fine when you deliver it to the manufacturer, but you have to allow them to. Yeah.
I feel you on that. Yeah, I don't know. It was just, this is an interesting case because this is like literally the largest fine. I think it's the largest fine a government has ever hit anyone with, period. But I'm not sure. But don't take that statement to the bank. If that is the case, if this is the largest fine that the government's hit anyone with, then where the fuck is the United States government on the fucking BP oil spill? Anyway, moving on. Okay, so in the same vein, there's a little interesting. Is a very similar topic. So apparently, and this affects everyone. So everyone, listen the fuck up. If you use Chrome, you're fine. You don't have to keep listening. But if you don't, definitely keep listening. So apparently YouTube, YouTube owned by Google, Chrome, Google product. Apparently YouTube and Chrome run very well together. Apparently 5 times faster than other browsers. Like the videos load 5 times faster. And so let's see. I forget if it's on the Chrome backend or the YouTube backend. Let's see. Google launched new YouTube design. Blah, blah, blah. I think it's on the YouTube backend. Yeah. Oh no. It's on the Chrome backend. Okay, so in the Chrome backend, there's something that allows YouTube to load videos extremely fast. And so if you're using, Microsoft Edge, Safari, Firefox, it'll load up to 5 times slower for you. And that's pretty fucked up, in my opinion. The fact that they didn't open source that shit.
Does that have anything to do with their WebM video format, if that's still a thing? I don't remember if it is.
I do not know what that is, and I cannot answer that question. I do not know. But I suppose it's a good question.
I think WebM was started by them. It's an open source HTML5
so like web
video.
.m or is it web space m?
No, .webm.
.webm. Okay. I'm literally just control finding this article. Nah, there's nothing coming up in the article. But this is an article on The Verge, so it's very, oriented to a novice, reader base. They might not necessarily know about that. But I cannot answer that question. I do not know.
It's the development of the format is sponsored by Google, and the corresponding software is distributed under a BSD license. It's a royalty-free alternative to use in HTML5 video and HTML5 audio elements.
Okay. So no?
Well, the development of it was sponsored by Google, but it is not Google tied or
owned or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
I see.
So here's a question: Is this implementable? Is it open to be implemented by the other browser companies?
Yeah, apparently it's supported by Firefox, Opera, and Chrome.
Opera. I forgot Opera.
I forgot about Opera.
I totally forgot about that. Okay, so just pro tip for those of you that aren't using Chrome. As a temporary solution, if you want to fix this, if you're using Firefox, you can download, there's an extension called YouTube Classic if you want to make your videos load fast. So do that if you're a Firefox user. If you're an Edge user on Microsoft, please talk to me, because I don't know how many people are on Windows and aren't using Chrome or Firefox. Right.
On purpose.
But apparently on Edge you can download what's this called? Tamper Monkey? Oh my god.
Oh no. That was not 10 minutes.
Apparently it was. Tron chats.
Alright.
My gosh.
Could you imagine?
Okay.
First off, I don't know how y'all feel about the second Tron movie with what's his face?
I enjoyed it.
I love the second Tron movie.
I enjoyed it.
I feel like it's so underrated, and they were supposed to come out with a sequel last year.
Although,
I think it's still slated to come out, but I guess because they put so much money into I appreciate movies like that because you have to use a 3D camera to have it in 3D and then have it look great.
Yeah.
I hate when movies put 3D afterwards, in post, because you can,
yes,
yeah, you can tell. But Tron Legacy, when I saw that shit in theaters, it was beautiful.
That movie. I haven't even seen the original. I need to do that, but yeah, I need to. I have to.
You got to.
You're correct.
You got to.
So,
yeah.
Ash, I bet you're familiar with her. What's her face on YouTube? Film critic. Lindsay Ellis? Yeah.
Yeah.
She did a video that was, and it's criticizing sci-fi in general, so it's not shitting on Tron, but it was, it's about sexism in general and women in sci-fi portrayed as, it was Born Yesterday. What the fuck was it? It was Born Beautiful Yesterday or something like that. And what's her face's character in Tron?
Olivia Munn. Wild. It was confusing.
Yeah, Olivia Wilde's character was like, literally like born not that long ago, but she's like, like fucking 30 something, and like fucking gorgeous, and like extremely knowledgeable, but also like they show like moments in the movie where she's like, because she's so young, like also very naive. And it's just an interesting video. Anyway, this is extremely off topic. Good video if you want to learn about sexism in film and sci-fi.
What
Chris,
video was this again?
So there's this YouTuber, excellent film critic. I love her shit. Lindsay Ellis is her name, and it's also the name of the channel, I believe.
Yeah.
She has a series, and it's so well done, explaining why and how bad the Hobbit movies are.
Okay.
And it was so good. All her videos are really good. Her shit is amazing.
Lindsay Ellis.
Yeah, subscribe to that shit. Her shit is awesome. Chris, it is your turn to count for the shots.
Yes. All right. 3, 2, 1. Salute.
Boom.
Cheers.
Oh my god. I have regular non-habanero tequila to stick to. Dude, I can't even, like, I know this habanero is going to be fucking my intestines up, but Ash, I cannot imagine drinking that garbage you drink.
I'm actually gotten used to it now. It's just my breath smells like barbecue.
You know, I've been drinking this shit so much shit, I've gotten used to it.
So I'm okay now. Although I feel like I'm cheating a little bit. I'm using this shot glass I got in New Orleans, and it's like just the torso of a girl, but she's a skinny girl. And when I like measured it against another shot glass, it's pretty much just half a shot.
You know,
like
I'll let that pass.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I definitely screwed up and used one of the shot glasses I got in Mexico, and it is.
And, Mexicans don't fuck around.
I think it's like 3 or 4 ounces, and I've been filling it up. Trying to do a quarter of the way.
Chris is getting lit, y'all.
So real quick, the biggest fine levied appears to be against JP Morgan Chase at $13 billion.
Woo!
Followed by BP
during the recession or whatever. Oh, so BP is bigger than this.
No, this is an article from 2013, so definitely written before this all just happened.
Oh, okay. How much does it say? How much the Horizon, whatever the fuck is called?
The BP one was $4 billion.
Oh, it's less. Damn.
So it is less. JP Morgan Chase is $13 billion though, which sounds.
I mean, starting a whole global, yeah. Arguably, we're not still out of, yeah. Okay, so y'all know more about this Moviepass shit than I do, so I'm gonna let you talk about it.
Yeah, so was it Thursday or Friday that this happened?
Thursday,
right? Yeah. I think they ran out of cash and the entire app shut down.
Yes. So I actually have some stuff written about it because it's so funny.
The way you said yes was like, I have feelings.
Like, I'm a movie buff. I love to go to the movies, and all of my friends have said, go use this app. And I was like, no, it's a scam. As soon as I heard about what this was, I was like, this is a scam. It's not going to last, whatever. So basically, their parent company never paid the contractors who processed their customers' payments. So the contractors stopped processing them.
Wait. Say that again. What?
So the people who own Moviepass ain't run their contractors no money. So the contractor's like, well, I'm not going to process this shit. And on Thursday,
holy fuck. So they basically haven't paid their bills.
Exactly.
Oh, that's funny. It's not even like Moviepass's bank account.
It's someone else's.
It's someone else's, and they were
like it's indirectly Moviepass's bank accounts.
Yeah. So
it could just be they're being dicks and don't want to pay.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's like, no, I'm not going to pay my electricity bill. Fuck you.
I think.
Well, fine.
What it sounds like to me is, like Moviepass is $9.95 a month for the subscription fee, and they currently spend more to retain a subscriber than the revenue they make from this app, right?
Shit.
And so,
wow.
What happened is, I think they were trying to I mean, I feel like there's a bunch of people at the top who don't have a lot of experiences with apps, because as soon as I heard this, I was like, this is not going to last long. Like, what? Hollywood's going to ask for their money, and the money needs to be run through quick. And so like
you're gonna give me my money and I need it now.
Right? So I think they kind of just waited till like the last possible minute to see
the critical moment,
see how long this could last. And so when this happened, the customers were unable to purchase tickets because they didn't pay their contractors the money. And so then Moviepass was forced to borrow $5 million to pay the company's merchant and fulfillment processors. So
I didn't realize it was a contractor, but I did hear that they had to borrow $5 million.
Yeah.
So man, this is better.
Like it sounds like, you know, when you like there's something you got to do and you don't, like if you're in a relationship, like I really, really got to go do this thing for our car. Like, I got to get new tires for my car. And I really don't want to tell my significant other because she's probably going to get mad at me. But then
for not having already
the tire blows out and now you got to buy a brand new tire and your wife's pissed because you should have got that fixed months ago and you said it was all right. That's what this sounds like.
So I can't tell if like Moviepass higher ups like just know something that we don't, or they, like you said, they're just like inexperienced, because every time that they get questioned on it, they're so confident that everything is okay and it's gonna be all like we're not going out of business, guys. This is fine. It's gonna work. That's the feeling I get every single time I hear.
Isn't it like every like app, you know, like every like tech company owner though is like, oh no, this is great, man. Like it's gonna change the world.
But not everybody's tech company is responsible for. I think it was last time they provided the numbers. It was like up to 20% when they advertised the movie. 20% of the U.S.'s box office sales are attributed to them when they advertise a movie. Damn. So like when they advertise to their subscribers, it may have been 16%, but it was still like significant enough to like be able to say, okay, yes, they are making an impact. They are like driving people to the theater. Yeah. So I don't know if they're just like blinded by that number and ignoring the fact that there's still only getting $9.95 from subscribers.
I think they wanted to keep costs so low to bring in new customers, but they didn't anticipate how much they're going to have to pay for each of these movies. And I also think they don't have anybody who understands the film industry working at the top, because we know that blockbusters and tent poles, they're going to bring in a lot more money than, you know, indies and documentaries. And anticipate for those lower ones that people are going to use for, that's going to bring you in less revenue than you know, a Marvel film, and that's or a 3D film and those things. So
well, also bring you in money from whose perspective? Because that's going to take more money away from Moviepass than the theater.
Oh right.
Like it's very different sides of the market.
The proverbial coin.
Yeah.
Man, that's wild. Okay, so moral of the story is that like Moviepass is going to fail and like some other company is going to take their place.
I think
basically
Moviepass is going to fail and no one's going to take their place because there's not going to be any profit from it.
Well,
the thing you have to have money to make this sort of thing happen.
Gotta have money to make money.
Like Amazon. Maybe Amazon would be able to go in and do this correctly.
Oh God!
And I don't want to even say that.
I just got it was like a month ago. I got an email from Alamo Drafthouse that they're starting their own sort of season pass,
which makes that I would pay for, because
that does make sense.
Right, yeah.
If it's like movie theater specific though.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, I live down the street. Like I can look out my window and see
the
Mueller Alamo Draft House. And so with Moviepass, like I can check in from my apartment, walk over, buy the ticket, and then like go later in the day. It works out perfectly for me.
Oh gosh!
There's no way it's been 10 minutes.
Olivia Wilde is visiting us. She's saying, "Drink the shot." Okay, I don't even remember who counted last.
Cris did.
Me.
So
okay,
I guess it's
your
me.
turn. I gotta pour my shit though. Hold up.
Pour your shit.
It's oh god. Yeah. It's like I'm getting like the seeds and shit at the bottom. There's like bleached ass habanero that's like a ghostly white of its old orange self. Like,
did you just open this bottle, or are you near the?
No. This is a habanero tequila that I've been drinking for a while. I have a backup bottle in the other room.
When you drink it at other times, has it been this hot? Because it's probably just because you're reaching the bottom.
Yeah, but
hot.
Well,
I mean, I listened to the last episode and it sounded
about the same.
It sounded pretty. Daniel was having the same sort of reaction.
Although, like, I don't know if I tweeted it or not. Maybe I should have, but like, man, the next day my intestines were like, "Yo," or like, "This is not okay."
Not cool.
Yeah, they were not okay with this. Okay, Ash, when you're ready, I'm ready.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Cheers.
Boom.
Salud.
Oh, baby. At least I don't have that mesquite garbage.
Yeah, sorry. I just got to get rid of it. That I was doing some
timer.
Started.
I'm not sure who you're apologizing to.
Myself.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Sorry,
your mouth,
Ashley.
Your
Sorry, Ashley, tomorrow.
Yeah. Which actually, surprisingly, you don't get a hangover with the stuff. It just doesn't taste great going down.
Yeah, that's a thing.
That is surprising.
Well, I mean,
I would imagine with all the sugar.
Crown Royal is not bad quality per se. It just isn't good tasting stuff in general. You know, like
I like. Crown.
It's not. I don't like Crown. Like I'm not a fan of any of their products.
You are never getting an endorsement from Crown ever in any context.
I'm sorry, you fucking Canucks. I'm going there. Okay, real quick, I put this on the fucking docket. This is kind of a joke, but not really. Okay, so months ago, my girlfriend and I were like, "Yo, let's get a bidet." It's $20 on Amazon or where the fuck you buy your shit. It's not that expensive, and there are many options on Amazon that are $20. So you have many choices. We got a bidet. I'm going to say this is like barely tech. It's a form of technology, I suppose. Point being, $20 is the best investment you can make to change your life forever. Get a bidet. Do it right now. Like, stop listening to this episode. Go buy a bidet or like put it in your cart or whatever. It is the best thing you could possibly do for your entire, like, anytime I have to wipe my ass, I feel like a fucking barbarian. Like, I feel like I'm in some like backward Stone Age society. Get a bidet. Just do it. It's the best $20 you could ever spend.
Are you sitting on your toilet right now using your bidet?
I might be. I will not disclose that information.
Where did you get it again?
Just Amazon. Like, I was at, as much as I hate Jeff Bezos, I order everything in my life on Amazon. Like, literally, here, I'll go to Amazon right now and I'll just like fucking search. I could properly type Amazon. I'm not drunk. But
good, me either.
Bidet. Don't get this weird toilet top one. It's the one that goes under the like toilet seat ring. Oh, it's $30 now. Get the fuck out of here. The one I got is $30. Get the actual fuck out of here. 34.
What 30? I see 320, 379.
300? No way.
These are the ones that come up first for me.
Oh, the sponsored one is 300. Go below the sponsored nonsense.
34, 47. Oh, here's a $24 one.
There you go.
That's still not as badly priced as I thought it would be, especially because we like typically associate bidets with richness. So
no, dude, they're so cheap. Every time every time I wipe my butt now, I feel like I'm just smearing the shit around my butt. Like it's disgusting. I'm disgusted by swiping my butt.
I'm disgusted to hear it.
And what drove you to buy this?
Just because I heard other people being like, you know what it was? Like throughout my life, I heard people being like, bidets are amazing, get a bidet. And then you know what it was? I watched the fuck out of on YouTube, and they've moved their show to Showtime now, and I'm upset. But I watched the fuck out of Deezus and Miro, and they had like a little, like YouTube clip about bidets. And apparently they both have bidets, and they were like, yo, like study from Australia shows blah, 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 blah. That like bidets are way cleaner.
Bidets make you live 10 years longer.
That's right.
I'm about to get one.
It was something that like it makes your butt cleaner, and I was like, yes, I'm about my butt being cleaner, and I have never looked back. Like every time I shit somewhere that doesn't have a bidet, which is not, you're basically just not my toilet, I'm upset. Like I'm just like, fuck this.
Sounds like you're either often holding it or upset.
Oh man, like I'll deal just because when you gotta go, you gotta go. I'm just not happy about it. But okay, for real. Okay, so like the best quality, cheapest one I see on Amazon right now is like $21.99 or $21.59. What a random number. $21.60.
That's really not bad.
Yeah, go get you a bidet. The one I got is the one that's like Amazon's Choice or whatever at the top. And it works fine. It cleans my butt very well.
What do the $320 ones do?
It replaces the entire toilet seat and then has like a fuck ton of options. Like it's heated water. Okay, so living in Chicago and installing the bidet in winter it took like a week of getting used to the coldest water in the world spraying my butt. It was awful. Like I love Chicago to death, but Chicago winters are the worst thing in my life ever.
So what you're saying is you fucked up and should have gotten a $320 bidet.
That's right. They're like the ones that say like in Japanese, like they'll be like Ohio every morning.
Is that what they say, Daniel?
I don't. Apparently, like fancy Japanese toilets say good morning to you. From what I hear.
Resources.
Yeah, get you a bidet. Maybe not this $300 one, but they're like $20-$30. It's worth it. It's worth every penny. It's so good. It's so good. I cannot give a more raving review of bidets. Please get one for yourself. It'll make your life better. In the era of Trump and all this garbage is happening in the world, it makes my life that much better, and it distracts me from the shit that's going on in the world.
I just ordered one.
It's just getting lost.
Yes.
So I will, if you guys want to hear a review about it in about, because I have something to review next week. In 2 weeks on the Pretty Witty podcast.
There you go.
I will be reviewing my bidet.
There you go. Okay, so for like on the real though, like the first week, it's like the most bizarre experience, like having your butthole sprayed by water. But then like after that first week, you're like, how did I ever do without this? So the first week is weird as fuck.
To the past are baby wipes.
That's right. That's right. Who needs baby wipes when I have a strong spray of water? Yeah, the first week,
caressing my butt.
That's right. The first week, you're like, oh my god, this is the weirdest thing in the world. Oh, especially mine, because I think when I installed it, I turned the water. You know how like they have the twisty thing for the water pressure. I think I turned it on too strong, and so like my bidet has no chill. Like it's supposed to be like low, high, and it's just like from low to high is no difference. Like it's all just like like it's a fucking geyser.
It's very
very strong. And I'm too lazy to like turn it down, but whatever, man. Strong streams clean my butt well.
Hey man, it's your butt. You do whatever you want with it.
That's right. But anyway, so the first week it's like a very bizarre experience, and then once you get used to it, you're like, oh my god, why did I ever not use this? I will await Ashley's review to see if she can corroborate. Is that how you say it?
Corroborate.
There's an R in there. I thought it was just two O's. There's an R. There you go. Anyway,
I'm so excited.
I'm hesitant. I have the checkout link open or the checkout page open.
Chris, do it.
Just do it.
Do it.
I promise you won't regret it. Like the first week you might be like, Daniel, why did you do this to me? And then like after the first week you'll be like, no, this was the correct decision in my
Daniel,
life.
thank you for doing this to me.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god. Okay, let's move on to our suggested apps. I want to start with Chris just because I appreciate so I used the wording suggested apps to Chris, and Chris took this as like a hypothetical. And so
yeah, I very much just realized about an hour ago that I should have picked an existing app.
No, but I very much appreciate your angle. And then I want to start with you because of your angle. So I'm just going to let you go. You go. Introduce your idea.
So I really like the idea of, and I guess the name they came up with on the spot was all-in-one. So basically consolidating services that exist. For example, Lyft and Uber, or Bird and Lime for scooters, or Favor and Grubhub.
What? Bird and what?
Oh, Bird and Lime.
I've never. Is that the green scooters?
That's the green scooters, yeah.
Okay.
This is a
So
thing?
like, this is a thing.
Yeah, they have them in Austin now.
I haven't been in Austin in a while.
So they've got scooters.
And they're green.
You can use. Yeah.
You're eating an item that I want to eat.
I had to eat some rice because I was like, I'm way too drunk.
I don't want to. Is it just like plain white rice?
No, I'm eating Panda Express.
Oh, nice. Also,
no. I'm heating up some home slice pizza, so I'm.
Yo, fuck you! Actually, that's fine.
I'm sorry.
Chicago pizza is as good as home slice.
Oh gosh.
Chicago pizza is a shit. I'm pouring the shot. I'm actually at half a shot. Hold on 1 second. I have to go grab my non-habanero version of this exact same tequila.
Oh, you finished it. Congratulations.
I did finish it. There's like 8 seeds in my shot. Hold on. BRB.
Did you finish it or did you just wimp out?
I finished this bottle and I had to go grab the non-habanero version of this bottle that I bought today.
I applaud you. I would not have done it.
Yeah, there's like legit 8 seeds. Okay, I lied. There's like an ounce left in this bottle and I'm not going to be a bitch and I'll pour it into the shot glass. But I will regret the shot. But I also do have to go grab the bottle. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
I don't know about you, Ashley, but I appreciate his honesty.
Yeah, me too.
I believe it's my turn to count, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I am going to count. Here we go. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Trago.
Cheers.
Oh, man. I have like 5 seeds in my mouth right now.
I just looked down at my shot glass and was wondering why we hadn't taken the shot yet.
Well, now you don't have to wonder that anymore. Mm-hmm. Okay, so your idea was basically like what's the word? Like not accumulator.
The one-stop shop.
Aggregator?
All-in-one, whatever you want to call it. Just for, for rideshare services, for scooter rental services.
I didn't even know there was a scooter one. Like, you guys are opening my mind to these things.
Very new. So you probably wouldn't know.
This is a thing.
Also, like shopping and delivery, say at least in Texas, you wanted to go between, I don't know, is it going to be cheaper or easier to go through my Costco membership, Favor, or Amazon
Postmates,
Prime now that they have Whole Foods, or Postmates.
Right.
Because Amazon Prime, I think, now does like Whole Foods delivered for free in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, but you can get free alcohol delivered through Favor by HEB. It's like, oh, I don't know. Which one's going to be cheaper? Let me build my cart and you figure it out.
That does sound great. I mean, I used a lot of like aggregators for like chat and email and shit. So I was like, oh, that's an interesting idea. Yeah, cool. Okay, real quick. The one I brought is very popular and people know it, but for some reason I bring it up in conversation sometimes, and like people are like, "I've never heard of that," and I'm like, "How the fuck haven't you heard of this?" So here's one that most people know about, but if you don't know about it, no shame. Duolingo. If you don't know about Duolingo, man, it's been out for years, but it's pretty cool. You can learn many languages on it. They have everything from like German and Swahili to High Valyrian, because nerds are a thing.
Really? I didn't know they had the extra options.
Yeah, like High Valyrian just dropped. So I, being the nerd I am, obviously I have High Valyrian. I have German, Korean, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, French, Turkish, Dutch. I don't know. I think I accidentally clicked on Welsh because I don't really give a shit about Welsh. I have Danish and Swahili. I was trying to get Yoruba because as a Cuban, I'm like, you know, in Cuba, there's a lot of Yoruba speakers, and I was like, yo, I want to.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So so the black population in Cuba for like music and like religious rituals speak some Yoruba, which is pretty cool.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's very cool.
But also like in Cuban food and culture in general, you have, you know, like a lot of like Nigerian.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like Yoruba influence. And so I was like, yo, I want to learn that. But it's not on, unfortunately, it's still not on Duolingo. I'm kind of upset about that. But they do have Swahili, which is a cool, as like a history nerd, I'm like, yo, that's a cool language. They have Czech, Romanian, Swahili, Greek, Hungarian, Vietnamese. They have a bunch of shit. If you want to learn languages, go to Duolingo. If you haven't heard about it, man, you've probably been living under a rock. But if you haven't learned,
or maybe just have been unfortunate.
That's right. That's right. I'm not going to shit on you, but you know, now you know. Duolingo is the shit. It's cool. Get it. Got it. Good. Ash, what's your app?
So I'm talking about Vivino. If you're a wine lover, you'll love this app.
Great app. I've used this.
It's a great app. I love it. When you first sign up, you actually give some information about yourself, including your zip code, so you can actually find out about wines in your area, as well as wines around the nation in case you want to buy those. The reason why I downloaded this app is because a lot of the people that like I have to deal with for my boss are kind of high profile. So like when we have to like buy gifts, the best gift to give is either liquor or wine.
That's right.
And my boss is very like get this, but she won't be specific. And so she told me to get one of the actresses on our show a glass of Chardonnay and a glass of Cab because that's what she liked.
Wait,
but
in a row?
I wasn't sure.
Well,
she was exiting the show.
So exiting the show, she has to have one glass of Chardonnay and one glass of Cab, one after the other. Like boom, boom.
Oh no,
or two bottles.
That's right.
Yeah, it was 2 bottles as a gift.
Just like to the face.
And
okay.
So I know what kind of Chardonnay and Cab I like. However, I don't know what this woman likes.
I mean, like, you know, we get cheap shit because that's all we can afford.
Exactly. With this app, it gives you reviews of wine. And what I really like about it is once you enter your zip code, you can buy local wines based on the area you're at. Gives a rating of how people like them. You can go on there and review them yourselves. And so for this specific actress, I thought I would buy her some Texas-based wine because she lives in California. So she drinks wine all the time. And
was it like Hill Country or?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
I just went on and looked up like a Chardonnay and then looked at some reviews, what were the top suggestions, and then got a decent bottle of wine that even when I went to the liquor store, the attendants were like, oh, that's a great choice. And
Awesome.
I kind of just did all of the research on my phone. So you could do that. You can keep information about wines you like or have purchased in this app, so that way if you ever want to suggest something to someone else, you can actually just pull it up and tell them, because I know I have a hard time like with wine specifically recommending things because I forget the names so easily.
Yeah, and wines are like, man, there are more wines than like anything else in the world, man. There's so many fucking wines. Yo, I had this app a long time ago and they redesigned it. It looks fucking cool as fuck. This is well done.
It looks so good. And then, like, if you know, like you said, we like to drink the cheap shit. If you know you're going to have a function or need something just a little more of a step up and you're not sure what to get, this is a great app
for real. They're suggesting, like, I'm just scrolling through it right now, and it's suggesting things that are, like, anywhere from, like, $20 to, like, $40, which is, like, you know, affordable for our age.
Yeah, it's totally reasonable.
Yeah. For like a really nice one, so, like that's totally reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing that I like about this app is you can add friends who have this app.
Oh,
word. So you like share wines or whatever.
Like, yeah. So like if you two have this app and I add you guys on it, then I could look at your wish list. So maybe I can gift you a bottle of wine, or
are you offering to gift us a bottle of wine?
Maybe when I start working again.
Whoa! Wait, I thought you were just fine.
I am, but I still have a fixed income. So I think it's a cool thing, especially for gifts. I feel because everybody likes their own thing. And
wait, I don't see you. I searched you. Where are you?
I should be here.
I searched
Ashley Robinson. Oh,
God, that's going to take you forever in a day to find me.
I know that's a very common.
There's so many Ashley Robinson. It's probably easier if I find you.
Yeah, because my last name is extremely uncommon. There's only 3 Daniel Regueiras in the world.
I've only ever found 2 Cris Nevares.
Yeah, but you spell Chris like Cristobal, not Chris with an H. Yeah.
Yeah, and plus the only other 2 that I know of that I've been able to find are my uncle, who was named after my grandfather.
Oh, that makes sense because of the fam.
Those are the only other 2 people that I've been able to find, and I have tried.
On that note, I guess I'll outro. Yeah. So you can find Miss Ashley on the Pretty Witty podcast. If you want to try to reach them on Twitter, they're at Pretty Witty Pod with 2 T's on both the pretty and the witty. Yeah, and Chris will be on this podcast.
All right. Thanks, y'all.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Never remembering, ever degenerate. Instead of forgetting and letting them live in the setting like sediment. I'm that part. Mix it up with 6 guy, Rage Against Machine, Bidet, J-Rock, K-Dot. Switch it up, gangsta. Getting on my stage props. Dilla with the beats and catch me singing like.
As always, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Techquila.
Mama call me Yeshua, running out of time with the Harry Potter headscarf. I ain't got a desk job.
For the regular listeners, I'd like to thank you for your support and ask that you please help us to continue to improve the show by heading over to our Patreon page and donating $1 a month.
Head farts, yeah, that's for all your gum smack, mud flap, scuzzbag, unwrapped sex.
By donating just $1 a month, you'll really be helping us out, and you'll get Techquila closer to hitting our goal of $30 per month.
Yeah, this is how I rap before I hit it. Top shit, but I still respect women.
Once that goal is reached, I personally will be designing and sending each of you a Techquila branded shot glass or 2 to show my appreciation. So head over to patreon.com/Techquila to support the show. That's Patreon, which is spelled patreon.com/Techquila.
Like egregious kids are just in front and like Jesus and elitist pimps come from Mars and bitches come from Venus. The way I see us is my strength is all your weakness. Treat them like a hedonist. Every obstacle defeated. Preach it, I'ma see to it.
Remember, you can submit topics for the show and interact with me and guests on the subreddit, which is found at reddit.com/r/Techquila.
That's for all your Joe rap, smoke ploys. That's for all your go brag, no have, low grab. Oh.
You can follow Techquila on Twitter for the latest hot takes on tech news at TechQuilaCast.
Watch list that did it. Yeah, this is how I rap before I hit it. Talk shit, but I still respect women.
The Techquila theme song is Ride Out by Yeshua, which is spelled YSHWA. You can also find him online as Vincent Augustus. Thanks, y'all. Whee! How do I find you on the Vivino app?